Al Ryan minding the shop for Will Gumpertz. And we've got our trusty newspaper reviewers with us. We've got Mal Fletcher and Suzanne Austin, and we're talking the main headlines and the main stories that have caught our eye this morning. Now, Mal, you've spotted an interesting opinion piece, I guess, by Nick Robinson about predictions for 2016 and Europe particularly.
Yes, and of course Nick's been through a lot this year.
Yes, he has.
Recovering from cancer. But he basically starts this piece by saying all my predictions were wrong for this year, including predictions about my own health, but all my political predictions were wrong. He says, I'm only going to make one prediction, that is that this will be the year when we decide what image of Britain we want to carry forward. And he's, of course, referring to the European referendum, whether it occurs in 2016 or 17.
Yes.
And I think there is a central question here, which is hugely important to the future of Britain for generations to come. And that is essentially, what does ever closer union mean? That's the crux of the matter. Is it possible to maintain a trading bloc of nation states that we have at the moment, or is it inevitable to push for a centralised United States of Europe?
Right.
And I think what David Cameron needs to be doing, instead of looking at peripheral issues, in my view, such as benefits for immigrants,
yes,
we need to be focusing on the philosophical question of what does ever closer union mean? It's not an economic question. Mm-hmm. It is a philosophical question. To ask the heads of state, to ask the bureaucrats themselves, what does it mean to you, ever closer union? And if that version of ever closer union doesn't chime with our values as Brits, then we need to be asking, should we be there or not?
Should we be in
But until we talk about the philosophy behind it, I think we're sort of wasting our time on things that don't really matter that much.
Yeah. And now, do you think it will happen next year or the year after? Do you think it'll be 2016, 2017?
It's very hard to say, because David Cameron's famous for shifting things around.
Yes.
If he thinks he can get the result he wants early, he'll definitely do it in 2016, late 2016. My gut feeling is that it will be early 2017, the last possible moment that he can do it, I think.
Okay.
And it will be a close run thing, and at the moment the debate isn't in the public realm, so we don't know how people are feeling.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We don't know whether people want to stay within Europe or whether we want to be out. I mean, I know certainly, coming from where I did in Ireland as well, the whole European stroke Brussels thing is a hotbed of argument at home as well. It's.
I lived in Copenhagen for 10 years, as I told you before, and so I saw. I am pro-Europe in the sense that I think it's wonderful to have a trading bloc of nation states,
yes, and
to have all the freedoms that brings to it. I think that's wonderful, and protections. But I'm wary of an overbearing EU in Brussels and Strasbourg, dictating things to countries like Britain that have a proud heritage in human rights, in law, and jurisprudence, and so on.
Well, this is the thing, does it become a nanny state and all of these things that follow? It's an interesting thing, but that will rumble on. I think it'll heat up pretty much once we get into 2016. I think it's going to be an interesting one.